details in right now about the ongoing Sony Marvel talks. Marvel has made a new deal. Let's talk about it right after this.
Bust it. Shake and bake and pull it back.
Oh my God.
Come on and get some, boys.
That is why they can't compete.
What's up, YouTube? And it's your man Tebow from Lords of the Longbox. Welcome to another live breaking news edition of Lords of the Longbox. I promised you guys, hey, I wouldn't be doing this all the time, but I told you if it was important news, I'd be breaking in and going live as quickly as I could. I just got off work. That's why I just look so damn handsome right now. Shout out to everybody that was able to join me. Throw this together real quick. I literally got this right as I was leaving work. I was doing some testing and I was like, damn it, I got to do this. So then I got the scoop. I said, let me go home, do it. I had my boy Dark Side Jedi. I whip up some graphics, came home, set this up. So I'll let everybody get in here for a bit. Let me see what's up to everybody in the live chat. What's up to Groove Easy? I think that's how you say it. Let me see. Let me go through here. Groove Easy, what's up? Alex Perez, Randy Sloan, our friends from Beyond the Blast Doors. He promised we're going to have Beyond the Blast Doors to talk about some Disney or some Star Wars stuff right after D23. That's a promise. David's going to come on. My man, Dark Side Jedi, holding it down. Jedi Time Lord, what's up, man? Yao Vicente, I believe that's Portuguese or Brazilian. I'm going to guess. So I got a lot of Brazilian love lately, man. I got a lot of retweets from Marvel Brazilian accounts. So obrigado. I believe is how you say thank you in Portuguese. Gorilla Grad, Wobbles. So let's get right to it, boys and girls. I don't want to hold you guys off too long. So I'm going to read you what I got, man. So bear with me as I kind of get everything in a row here. I should hold that down in the live chat for me, Dark Side Jedi. All right, boys and girls, let's get right to it. Disney has made a new offer to Sony and are waiting for them to accept or counter. The hope is that this is agreed upon by D23, so a huge announcement can be made of the renewal of vows. Think about this. D23 wants to pop bigger than Hall H at San Diego Comic-Con. That's how big they want to make D23. Here's the details. It's a 6-picture deal with Tom Holland and an option for a 7th. There are 3 more Spider-Man films after the 3rd one. In essence, a new trilogy. The 2nd trilogy will focus on Peter Parker's college years, including plans for him to meet up and team up with Firestar and Iceman, as we talked about yesterday. If you remember Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, he met Iceman and Firestar when Peter Parker was in college. So it was a little bit of an older Peter Parker, follows the progression of Peter Parker from high school onto his college years. The other 3 movies are 2 Avengers films in which Spider-Man will have a larger role in the Fantastic Four, becoming friends with Johnny Storm. We also spec'd on that on one of our previous shows. Marvel Studios will helm and co-finance all Spider-Man related movies for 30% of the full profits. Sony will distribute, but Disney will acquire exclusive digital and online rights for Disney Plus and affiliated TV networks. Marvel Studios will helm and co-finance Spider-Verse live-action spin-offs under the same terms. Venom will relocate into the MCU. Sony will be given permission for TV live-action programs based on Spider-Verse properties. Now, we talked about this, that Sony doesn't have the TV rights for Spider-Man. They only have the movie rights for Spider-Man. If you've been listening, we've been talking about Spider-Man also has a Scarlet Spider in development. They want to do a Spider-Man 2099. If you listen to Chris Lord and Miller and Lord, who were talking about the eventual projects they have for Sony and the Spider-Verse, they said there's over 900 characters to choose from. If Sony and Marvel don't work out a deal, Sony is limited to what they could do on the big screen. They need Marvel's permission to do anything on TV. Marvel has the rights to Spider-Man in the TV world. Sony has the rights to distribute and put pictures onto the big screen. So all the Spider-Man movies on the big screen. So right now we're waiting to hear back. So let me see. Let me see if we can talk to the Black Knight, see if he's got anything for us. This is where we're at right now. Obviously, they want to make this happen before D23, right? D23 is tomorrow, Friday, right? The Marvel panels. Here's something else that I just got that Spider-Man is going to be in a D23 presentation. He's going to be in a panel. Why would Spider-Man show up in a D23 anything if they don't have the rights to it? You know what I'm saying? Because D23 is, how do I say this? D23 is not really showcase a ton of Marvel comics. It's more about Disney as a whole. So for Spider-Man to show up at a D23 presentation in any capacity at all, you imagine if Marvel and Sony don't work out a deal, you think that Marvel, Disney would give any promotion to Sony at all, just out of, think about the X-Men and the FF when Marvel didn't own the rights, the movie rights to the FF and the X-Men. You know, most of us fans who read comics, who just don't go on the internet and do movie scoops or reviews and that, who actually read the comics, realize the FF, I was a big fan of the FF. And I remember they were gone for a while, man. After Hickman's run, they just disappeared, and slowly the Fantastic Four came back. Look at what Jonathan Hickman's doing right now with the reboot of the X-Men universe in the comic books. So let's hope this happens. If I hear any more news, I will give it to you. I will break in live and give it to you as much as I can. Let me just shout everybody in the live chat who was able to join us. Let me go through StreamYard so I can highlight you all. If not, this show is sponsored by KRScomics.com. To go to KRScomics.com, use the discount code of LOTLB to get 10% off any KRS Comics exclusives. Also, our sponsor is the GeekySwagShop.com. Use the discount code of LOTLB to get 15% off anything in the entire Geeky Swag Shop, including Lords of the Longbox t-shirts. Hit them up. There is the link. Shout out to everybody who's able to join me. You know, let me see what's up to everybody, man. Flying Brian, Swaggernaut 88, Lon Espinoza, Eric Martins, my man Nemesis Prime, Darkside Jedi, 90MF. Mitch, is Marvel's deal with Sony never ending? Is it infinite? No. So the original deal, right? And this was unprecedented when this happened. When Sony and Marvel got together, and this is Amy Pascal now. This is how long ago this was. And the reason this even came out was that Sony emails got hacked and leaked, right? So Amy Pascal met with Kevin Feige, and they put this deal together. It never came to fruition. And then the leaks kind of helped move it along, so to say, because everybody knew about it at that point. Pascal got fired. Rothman took her place, but the deal was already in place. It was Tom Holland came on, and it was a package deal. So when you think about Tom Holland, think about a free agent signing on to play with the Golden State Warriors of 2018, the year they won a championship with Kevin Durant, and then find out, no, you're actually going to the Pistons, right? That's what this would what happened to Tom. Tom Holland has gotten to play with the Golden State Warriors, won a championship, and now he's left with nobody. If Sony goes by himself, he may be playing with the Pistons or somebody else. No offense to any Detroit Pistons fans out there, but you know it's been rough for you guys. Marvel's deal with Sony. So when Tom Holland signed it, from what it's everything is so fluid right now. The more and more information we get, what I found out, he was originally for 5 films with an option for 6. The 3 appearances were in the Marvel universe, meaning Civil War, at Endgame, and Infinity War. Far From Home, Homecoming were the 2 solo films, and he was an option for a 6th solo film. So that's why all these negotiations are happening now. They like to extend the contract. So here's where the interesting things come in. We talked about Tom Holland unfollowing Sony. Today, Zendaya supposedly unfollowed Sony as well. Tom Holland's agent got involved because he said, "Look, man, you're messing with my employee, excuse me, you know what I'm talking about. You're messing with Tom Holland's money. Sorry, man, I just got off work." Because now, obviously, if he only is with Sony, he's not getting enough money. He got money for Civil War, Infinity Game, and Endgame, right? So he probably got a little bit of. He got paid by Marvel Studios to be in those films, and he probably got a little bit percentage of the film as well. If you think about Robert Downey Jr., he got like what, 80 million. So Tom Holland probably got a nice little chunk of change, couple of million for it. He's a young cat. He's doing a lot of big things in Hollywood now, but going forward, he wants to be part of the MCU because he originally signed on knowing that he was going to be part of the MCU. And then after 6 films, they would try to figure things out and go forward. So right now, everything's in motion. We talked about Sony's stock, right? I mean, the other day, it didn't affect that. But today, when I looked, it was down $2 a share, which is huge. Let me just look and do an update. When I looked earlier, Disney stock hadn't moved at all. So let me see. Sony stock went down 3% today. That's not good. Not good at all. If you're a Sony stockholder, that's not good. So it could be fluctuations in the market. Most people say you're right. It could be, but let's look at Disney stock in contrast. Disney stock is up 36 cents. It's $136 a share. Sony's at $53 a share. So that's pretty interesting. Here's another interesting factoid that when we were researching this, that we found out. If you think about So let me just take away this banner here so y'all can see me while I talk to you. If you think about, there was a story that was floated by Variety last year, and it was a speculation on their part of who they think Apple was going to buy, because Apple wants to be in the movie industry. They want to be in the movie business, excuse me. So they speculated, this article in Variety speculated that Apple would buy Sony, because at that point, Sony was in trouble. And what's interesting of that is, if Sony were to be bought out by another studio or somebody else, guess what happens to the movie rights? They revert back to Marvel. So Marvel would love if Apple were just to outright buy Sony, or any other place would buy out Sony, because Marvel would get the rights reverted back to them. They're a publicly traded company. Sony's known for their electronics, their PlayStations, their games, their movies, not so much. They do okay. I looked at what they released this year, and they did all right. They're not in the top 10 of studios as far as, but I mean, Spider-Man, obviously the biggest grossing movie for them all time. So it'd be interesting if they're able to get that. Let me see any more questions in the live chat while I still got you guys, so I can go relax. What's up, 90MF? Sith Lordly, my brother, what's cracking? Let's see if there's any questions. That's interesting. No, because She-Hulk was planned to come out in, so for D23, Marvel has a plan A and a plan B. Plan A was they want to talk about they're going to talk about FF, X-Men. They want to talk about Spider-Man and all the stuff they have going forward. That secret project of Spider-Man is Amazing Friends. They wanted to blow up D23 like Hall H, right? They wanted to make it amazing. They want people to talk about it. They do not want to go into D23 with the cloud of this hanging over them. There's been a lot of things being said about both sides. You know, I'm not saying which side is right or which side is wrong. As a fan of the movies and the comic books, we want this to happen. We don't care who capitulates to whom. Just make sure it happens, right? We want to see Sony and Marvel play well together. We want to see Spidey and MCU films. We want to see Spider-Man movies with some MCU characters sprinkled in there. We want to see Spider-Man TV projects, streaming, whatever. Want to see another, you know, if you think about Sony, they're really big on the PlayStation 4, the games. They're coming out with a PlayStation 5. We don't know how dedicated, but Rothman, what's Spider-Man success? Spider-Man Far From Home success. Oh, you know, the highest grossing movie worldwide for a Sony released movie. I think they eclipsed James Bond, one of the James Bond flicks, for that title. They want this to happen. Who would buy Sony knowing that the rights of Spider-Man revert back to Marvel or Disney? Excuse me, right? I don't know if anybody would want that. It's like buying DC Comics and not getting the movie rights to Batman, and Superman, and Wonder Woman, right? You would just buy the comics, that's neither here nor there. I never heard anything. I'm just saying that as a speculation, but crazier things have happened. Let's see. The U.S. government will not permit Disney to buy out Sony due to the U.S. government not wanting Disney to become a legitimate monopoly. It wouldn't be Sony; it would be Sony Pictures. They wouldn't buy Sony outright. Sony outright is a giant conglomerate, and they won't buy a giant conglomerate. They can buy the studio, though. Sony Studios is relatively small compared to other studios like that out there, like Warner Brothers, Disney, and things of like that. Happens all the time, right? I believe Sony Studios is part of Columbia. I think it's Columbia is the bigger studio of Sony. So it could happen. Will it happen? I doubt it. Marvel doesn't want to buy all that because if they can do it the way they have now. Apple is the one that was being discussed on buying. Oh, well, I don't want to say it was discussed, but it was floated out there as a speculation by Variety, who said, because everybody knows that Apple wants to get into the movie game. And the only way to do that is to buy a studio because, Apple doesn't do movies. You need executives and studio heads. Look at all the trials and tribulations that Netflix went through to get, movies onto their platform and to the big screen. Same with Amazon. Took them a couple tries, but because you know why? You need industry professionals who've been working in Hollywood for a long time. Sony has that. What was interesting is there was another story I read about this, that Apple actually moved into Culver City. If you don't know, Sony Studios is in Culver City. I actually happen to work. One of my sites is right next to Sony Studios in Culver City. I won't tell you where I work for because that would be too much. Any news of name work? You know what? Swaggernaut 88. This is very interesting, but all the stuff we reported on up to D23 could possibly happen with all the supernatural stuff with Hulu, all the stuff with Star Wars, all the stuff. But the actual presentation itself has been really tight-lipped. We've been trying to get information. Same with, and they keep it tight-lipped. Same what they did with, if you think about Hall H, nobody saw Blade coming, right? Nobody at all. I mean, you know, all the people who get scoops that do it professionally, nobody knew. My source didn't know, so it's pretty interesting. But what you know about them Cavaricci, son? Nah, I don't rock Cavaricci. Even back in the day, I didn't rock Cavaricci's, Ryan. I was rocking Jabot jeans, you know what I mean? That's what we did. Before that, we were rocking the 550 Levi's baggy, you know what I'm saying, with the crease down, Nike Cortezes. That's the way we roll. Let's see. When are they announcing the TV shows connecting to movies, and Marvel Studios and TV are now working together? Yes, they are. So legit, Nick. Good question. So prior, there were stories floated that Jeff Loeb and Kevin Feige don't play well together, and that's, you know, all the fun. And we talked about this ad nauseum on our show. Now that Bob Iger, the head of Disney, has Disney Plus, they have Hulu, they have FX. Jeff Loeb is basically in charge of Marvel TV. They got together and said, look, we have a plan to take over the entire world. Everything is going to be truly connected now. So all the Hulu stuff, all the Disney Plus stuff. Remember, the Disney Plus stuff is Kevin Feige producing it, and it'll be tied to the MCU directly. The Hulu stuff is headed up by Jeff Loeb, who headed up the Marvel Netflix stuff. Jeff Loeb also heads up the ABC Studio stuff. So stuff like Agent Carter, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. He also did the Netflix stuff with Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Finn Jones. Anyway, I won't say it because I can't. But the plan going forward is to not take out Warner Brothers. That's, you know, they've already proved that they're doing well in the movies and DC is doing their thing. They want to take out Netflix. That's this whole thing in a nutshell, is let's get streaming up there because we want some of that Netflix money. Netflix is killing it. And now that's why, you know, Marvel's kind of took their stuff away, or Netflix took it away. They didn't want to do it anymore. It cost too expensive. Marvel wants to take it. They want to dominate the streaming world, right? I mean, you say they're greedy, whatever, they're a company. They want to make their shareholders happy. When shareholders hear about these kind of things, they're happy. They say expanding growth. You're getting more. I mean, it's $136 a share for Disney stock right now. Right? Not quite Google price, but that's pretty darn good, man, for Disney. Disney has always been a blue chip stock. Very good, Gem Mint. Look at that, Gem Mint Collectibles, spelling out Mark-Day Francois Jabot. Look at that, man. Man, I'm impressed. Shout out to Gem Mint Collectibles. Part of the success of this channel was me going on Gem Mint Collectibles, dropping the Secret Wars scoop. It kind of went viral. Help us get back to over 1,000 subs. I want to thank everybody. Hit up Gem Mint Collectibles if you haven't already. He's got 33,000 subs. He's killing it doing his thing. Omnibuses, statues. You know, sometimes I slide up in there, throw my thing down. I may come out and break out some scoops. You know what I mean? Okay, so let me recap. Since people are just joining us, I just realized, hey, we got 70 people, but 5 people watching right now. I am going to recap what is going on. So let me remove this banner, put up this nice banner. And let's go back to it, boys and girls. Let's talk about this. All right. So I got news today. There's a new deal that was offered by Marvel to Sony. All right. So those who already heard it, you know, take 5. Those who haven't heard, pay attention. Disney has made a new offer to Sony and are waiting for them to accept or counter. The hope that this is agreed upon by D23, so a huge announcement can be made for their renewal of vows. And if you know what renewal of vows is, that's a Spider-Man comic. Okay, anyway, the details. There's a 6-picture deal with Tom Holland and an option for a 7th. 3 more Spider-Man films after the 3rd. In essence, a new trilogy. So right now, there would be a 3rd film and then 3 more after that, so a 2nd trilogy. The 2nd trilogy will focus on Peter Parker's college years, including plans for him to meet and team up with Firestar and Iceman, Spider-Man and his amazing friends. Boom. The other 3 movies are 2 Avengers films in which Spider-Man will have a larger role and appearance in the FF film, being friends with Johnny Storm. If you don't know, the FF and Spider-Man go way back. I believe it's in Fantastic Four Spider-Man number 1, right? Not Amazing Fantasy 15, but Spider-Man number 1. You got the FF right there in the cover. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's one of the 2. I'm pretty sure it's Amazing Spider-Man number 1 where he appears on there with the Fantastic Four. So they have a deep, rich history in the comic books. So here's the terms of the deals. Marvel Studios will helm and co-finance all Spider-Man related movies for 30% of the full profit. Sony will distribute, but Disney will acquire exclusive digital and online rights for Disney Plus and affiliated networks. So that means Disney Plus, Hulu, FX, ABC, and whatnot. Okay. Marvel Studios will helm and co-finance Spider-Verse live-action films and spin-offs under the same terms. Venom will relocate into the MCU. We talked about how Kevin Feige wanted to be on board to do the third Venom film and do an Maximum Carnage film. So that would bring in, Peter Parker, Spider-Man, Carnage, and Venom all then. But that would be huge box office, by the way. Sony will be given permission for TV live-action programs based on the Spider-Verse properties. So I'll repeat one more time. Right now, Sony doesn't have the rights to Spider-Man in the small screen or streaming, right? Sony has the rights to make Spider-Man movies. They don't have the rights to make Spider-Man TV shows. They have to get permission from Marvel. So right now, if the things don't go through, Marvel could block and say, nope, you're not doing it. You're not doing Spider-Man 2099. You're not doing Scarlet Spider. You're not doing any of this. And they would be limited to what they can do on the big screen, basically what they've been doing for all this time, right? With the Sam Raimi trilogy, the 2 Garfield films, those were basically Spider-Man movies by themselves. Hold on, man. Let me get a drink of water. Ooh, Lord have mercy. And that's where we're at. So I'm trying to stay live just in case we get any more updates. Let me see. Let me reach out. And so far, nothing. So just want to thank everybody for hanging out with us. If you haven't, check out the video we posted yesterday. Not only we got some great news and scoops on there, but it's also our 1,000 subscriber giveaway contest. We got some really cool prizes, straight up comic book slabs, variants, even a damn Ghost Rider card and a Gem Mint 10. Yes, Gem Mint 10. Let's see. Stay live, bro. It ain't that serious. All right, so that's it in a nutshell. Everything is fluid, man. As we always say, man, things are subject to change, and as you could tell, this is one of them. I mean, how apropos is this when we're talking about stuff and then stuff like this drops, man? You know what, legit, Nick? We talked about it yesterday on our live show that this is one of the projects that was in danger of falling through if the Sony Marvel deal didn't happen. Is Spider-Man is Amazing Friends. I absolutely love that cartoon, and I challenge all of you to go on YouTube and search for Wolverine and the Spider-Man is Amazing Friends. He had a British or Australian accent. I'm trying to remember which one it was, and I thought for the longest time that all Canadians had accents when I was a kid when I first saw that. It also has the first time ever that you saw the X-Men in an animated version ever. It was on Spider-Man is Amazing Friends and Doctor Strange, believe it or not. I know this question may be off topic, but do you believe there's like a tendency that a Nova movie announcement will be made at D23? I hope so. Typically, they don't make these type of announcements until they have somebody attached to the project. But FF and X-Men were announced kind of haphazardly because he just ran out of time. Nobody really attached to it. We're finding out that it's Peyton Reed is going to be doing a Fantastic Four. We dropped a bit of news yesterday about Nova, and they're really interested in it. I mean, the Russos have talked about it. Xandar is there. I mean, it's the most obvious spec ever. If you've missed out on Nova #1, that's your fault because all the tea leaves have been laid out there for you to go get that book, and it's been going up and up and up. Let's get Kraven. Kraven is one of the films that Sony wants to make on their own, actually. So Kraven, Sinister Six, there was a Silver Sable, Black Cat, all those things. So we shall see, man. Men's Warehouse. I don't shop at Men's Warehouse, brother. I don't rock like that. I rock better than that. You know what I mean? Just kidding. Shout out to Men's Warehouse if you're watching. I would love to get a sponsorship as a free clothes. So yeah, Sinister Six. They've already been planting the seeds for Sinister Six. So I mean, that's the obvious thing that they want to do, right? Let me see. Hold on. I'm getting an update from the Black Knight right now. Oh man, he's telling me don't go yet. Hold on, sending me something. So I'm gonna hang out with you guys for a little bit longer, man. What up to everybody in the live chat? Here, I'll take this up. So that's interesting. Why is that still up there? Why is do you guys still see? Oh, there's my beautiful face. What's up, Goomba213? Long time no see, brother. Hey, you guys, we'll just hang out. We're just hanging out. We're going to talk about some stuff. Maybe I'll show you guys some comic books while we're waiting, man. So, as part of a 1,000 sub giveaway, we got some comic books, and you'll have to watch yesterday's video to find out what they are. Don't leave any comments in this video. I'm only looking at the video from yesterday for all the contest entries. So there's an interesting picture that's circulated on the outside of D23 for the banner is a picture of R2-D2, Woody from Toy Story, Frozen, right? So they're showing you Pixar, Disney, Star Wars, and the representative for Marvel was Black Panther, interestingly enough. Inside the hall is a banner that shows Captain Marvel, Captain Marvel, Iron Man. Is that Iron Man? Captain Marvel, Iron Man, and Spider-Man from inside D23. Interesting. So we'll see how that goes, man. So D23 is tomorrow. I will be very, very close to D23. It's my girlfriend's birthday. So we're going to go celebrate it actually at downtown Disney. If you see your boy, come and holler at me, man. We're going to be getting some drinks, chilling at the Jazz Kitchen, most probably. Getting news from D23, so we shall see. It's going to be a huge day tomorrow, man. Starting tomorrow into Sunday, but Saturday is typically the giant day for D23. It's already said that you're going to get a Star Wars 9 trailer dropping. Hopefully, I'm pretty damn sure you're going to get a Mandalorian trailer too, because there's a panel for the Mandalorian with Jon Favreau, so that'll be fun. I can't wait for the Mandalorian. That looks awesome, man. So shout out to everybody in the live chat. If I get anything more news, man, we'll break into it live, just like on the news. You know how they break in live with breaking. I got one of those tickers. So till next time, boys and girls, keep digging in them long boxes. Peace out.
Bust it. Shake and bake and pull it back.